Hello and welcome back to a very special episode of Ex-Boyfriend Material, the final episode of the season. My name is Jahred and this is Sean. Oh,
This is for you.
okay.
Please read it.
Oh. From the desk of Sean Tadlock, it is with a heavy heart that I have to announce that Sean is no longer in a relationship. He is deeply saddened that it is over, but feeling very grateful for the time they shared. Your thoughts, sympathies, and Venmos will be accepted, but please give him time to grieve for his months-long relationship. As someone who also used to date Sean, I can confirm that he is a great partner and deserves nothing but love. His DMs are technically open, but until his healing process is finished, he will not be reading any messages. In the meantime, any compliments in the comment section will also be appreciated. Thank you and enjoy the episode. Wow. So nice of him to send us that.
Oh, it's me. It's me. I'm.
Whoa!
I know.
Oh my
Crazy.
God.
I am in mourning.
Yes.
Ugh. Whatever.
Wow.
This fucking blows.
Yeah, it does blow.
Ugh.
Well, for those who can't see us right now, who are listening, we are doing our Halloween tribute.
Yes.
You are dressed as...
I'm Voldemort. Just I have the nose and the hair and the great personality.
Right.
So
Right.
kind of like. Oh no, I'm Tom Riddle.
Yes. Loyal followers, very popular in school.
Yes, all of that. All of that. And you are
I'm Daredevil, but I don't have all the...
accoutrement.
Yeah, because they didn't show up in time for me to do this. It was kind of a last minute idea
Yes.
for us to do costumes on the pod.
I just threw this on.
And then we have the tiger from K-pop Demon Hunters because I need something to cover my bulge.
There we go.
So, yeah, big news.
Big news.
You
Yes.
got into a relationship at the beginning of this podcast, and now you're no
Now I'm-
longer in one.
Correct. It kind of feels like a great way to end the first season in a way.
Yeah,
Just like, starting off on a high,
yeah.
ending on a low.
And, I do feel somewhat responsible because I did say, like, oh, and if you break up, it would be great content. And now here we are.
And here we are. Just
So it is my fault.
gonna give the kids what they want, some good content. But yes, my boyfriend and I are no longer together. Well, I guess he's not my boyfriend anymore. Not to like get too into detail, but he came to the conclusion that we were just better as friends, and that in order to preserve our friendship, we should probably cut it off now than get too deep into it. So that's kind of the big explanation. Nothing too crazy. Nothing really happened that was bad, or
Yeah.
no one's awful or anything. It just is not meant to be.
Well,
So
sometimes it's not. you
yeah.
know?
So yeah, definitely a bummer. I'm okay, but I'm not like fine. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just very much like I'm able to do the podcast. I'm able to like hang out with friends. Like everything's okay, but I'm still very sad. Very upset that it's over. It was a very like fun relationship. I was having a great time, and long term, I guess it wasn't going to work. And I think if I actually sit with myself for a bit, I think I would have gotten to that conclusion eventually. But today's episode is going to look a little different. We're not really doing exciting or exhausting. We're just going to talk about breakups and
Yeah.
Your
Real shit.
your post breakup ritual, coping skills, what makes you feel better after a breakup, and how you just deal with stuff like this, because it really just sucks.
Yeah.
Sucks so bad.
And we're also going to talk about Halloween.
Yeah.
This will probably come out after Halloween, but
this
in
will
case you guys are still in the spirit, we threw on the costumes.
Yes, exactly. That's my little update on how I've been doing. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. I had a little bit of a friend breakup.
Oh,
Yeah. I just didn't expect that. So
yeah.
that was pretty rough. And
Sorry.
I think we can also in this episode kind of talk about how like a friend breakup would go as well.
This is just the breakup episode.
Yeah.
Like we can discuss all things post breakup, during breakup.
But yeah, other than that was really my main update. I've now done for my side gig,
Yes.
I've done studio work now.
Stop.
Yes.
You're a star now.
Yes, I am a corn star.
How was that?
It took a lot fucking longer. That's one thing.
Okay.
It was like basically like edging the whole fucking day to try and get to this. Like it was a lot of that. It was like a lot of stop, go, wait for this, wait for that. Like just like a regular film set is like, which I guess was nice because I've done all that. So I like worked in production crews before. So I knew when I got there, I was like, oh, this is how it's going to be. Got it. We'll be fine. But it's like, okay. Like, and the scene I had, it was like a cowboy scene. So I was like wearing a cowboy hat.
That's why you were all the way over there.
Yes. Okay. And I had to like pretend to shave. It was like a fake razor and shaving cream, but I had to reset the shaving cream for like 7 different times to do this one take. Okay. Because they were shooting like through a mirror, me shaving and this other guy behind me like stripping. Oh. So it was like a whole thing. Anyway.
You know, I sometimes wish I could support you and like watch these movies.
No.
It's like, oh, you're doing like work. I want to like support the work. And I'm like, I actually can't.
I don't think that's a good thing. But I did pass 20,000 followers on Twitter.
Hey, there we go.
Yeah, okay, I'm at 22 now.
That's my guy.
Yeah. So that was good. That was a highlight.
Yeah. Not a lot of highlights on my end. Just breakups.
Low light.
Which we can get into now.
Although you dancing on that close friend story was amazing.
Yeah.
As Voldemort.
Yeah. No. I was at a Halloween party this past weekend and I didn't think I was that drunk until I woke up the next morning and saw a video of me fully...
Stop, lock, and dropping it.
Stop, lock, and dropping it?
Yeah. I don't know what that was.
I can't even describe to you. It was like a knee-heavy dance that someone I do not follow tagged me in.
Wow.
And was just like, okay, cool. So I'm being watched.
Yeah.
Being watched and being posted. And I did watch it. And I was like, wow, what a little glimmer of happiness that I felt in that one moment.
Escapism.
Yeah. I was like, you know, things are going to be okay. Look at you there.
Yeah.
Drunk as a skunk.
Super happy.
I bet I was in that moment. I can't fully remember it, but glad it happened. We're just filling up our cup lately. I think that's one of the things about...
With tequila.
Oh, and you know how much I love tequila.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get to the topic of breakups. You went through I was going to say very public... very big breakup 2 years ago.
Yes, I did.
And that was a 5-year relationship, right?
Well, we broke up 3 times.
Oh, I forgot.
Maybe more. I can't remember, like, because there was some times where it was like day by day, like, what are we doing? You know,
my chest is getting tight because that would just give me so much anxiety. I feel grateful for every now 2 boyfriends I've had, for every situationship I've had. It's always just been we break up once and then it's done. And I remember after we broke up many moons ago, it was so clear to me that you had left. I was crying. I was like, I never want to feel like this again. When you break up with me, it's just one and done. We're not doing this. Like, we're not doing this. And we're having another conversation. We're not meeting up. Like, it was so clear after our breakup. I was like, oh, it's final. It's one. Yeah. It's good for me.
Yeah.
Because it hurts so bad. And even like this one, like hurts so much. But I also know that it's only going to hurt for like right now. I'm not going to have to get like reminded about it if we like talk again or like have another breakup conversation. So I can't imagine what it's like to break up with someone 3 times in the span of a 5-year relationship. Like,
I think the other thing that is important to point out about this is when you're in it like that, we were living together. We broke up the first time. We lived separately for like maybe a year, maybe a little less than a year. And then we got back together for part of that, and then got back together, moved in together again, then broke up again. Then like a week later got back together. I think I'm getting the timeline kind of wrong because it's been a while now, but you're just so in it that like no matter what anyone says, like no matter how much advice I got, I was like still in this mindset, like kind of feeling like I'm on my own and wanting it to work out. You know, that the first 2 times we broke up, I was still thinking in my head, okay, we're going to get back together. It's going to be fine. You know, and he was thinking the same thing. So that's why it ended up happening. But I mean, if we're talking about how I coped with it, like not well,
Yeah.
because the biggest thing that I try to tell people is like when they're going through breakups, it's like it's going to be waves. Like you will go through waves of feeling super confident. You'll go through waves of feeling like there's no one else in the world but that person for you and you blew it.
Yeah.
Like you'll go through all those things. The loneliness, sit in the loneliness. That really is the hard part. Cause like I would text him and then we would hang out and then I would be like, yeah, it's just us to talk, like just us talking. But then it would lead to more hurt feelings because then we'd feel, those old patterns. We'd like be, all of a sudden we're like cuddling, all of a sudden we're making out, all of a sudden we're having sex. And like all of that stuff makes it so much harder to just detach.
And that's what I'm saying is like, I don't want to fall into that. Yeah. And I luckily have not fallen into any of that. Like we didn't fall into that. Granted, we were in separate cities, 6 hours apart. So we could never do stuff like that.
Yeah.
But once you hurt my feelings, I can't like hang out with you right after. I can't just like text you again. I can't like meet up for a casual coffee. Like I'm a firm believer in like we break up and it's no contact for a while. Yeah. Like for us, it was 4 years. And that also made me want to ask you the question. I don't know if we've ever talked about this like privately and definitely not on the podcast, but like after we broke up, you left my apartment. We did not speak for 4 years. I know my answer, but why did you never reach out?
I don't know if there is like a really concise reason other than like, what would we talk about? We're going to talk about hanging out again? Are we talking about being friends again? Like I left that thinking that, we had a good thing and it was over because you were having a whole life in LA. And at that time I had no plans to move to LA. So I just thought I wouldn't ever see you again. I didn't actively think this in my head, so I don't want to give myself too much credit, but the thought process was like, it would only hurt you more to like talk things out or clarify. I feel like we had talked everything out,
Yeah, we did.
Like, I don't think that's the other thing with my breakup with my more recent ex. I think there was a lot of things that were unsaid about those first two breakups. So we both had like this closure we were seeking that we didn't fully get because the reason we broke up the first few times were because of like mistakes the other person made, I'll just leave it at that. But like, so it was abrupt, it was like, instead of being like, oh, I'm not feeling it anymore. There's like these things that are not going right. Like we've tried this, we've tried that, those first two times there wasn't that closure. And then the last time it was like, there's no reality where we're going to make this work anymore. It's just, we're forcing something that's not working, So I think the last time that we broke up was easier because there wasn't that question. Yeah. And I would say the same for you and I, where there wasn't really like a question of the closure. We knew where we both stood. Yeah.
Because I think I remember it so vividly. I don't remember like what necessarily happened, but I just looked at you and I was like, I can't do this anymore. Yeah. And you were like, yeah, me either. And at first I was like, wait, I know why I said it. Why are you saying it? But it was just so clear that like we had both reached our point of like, I have nothing else to give. I have nothing else to say. I have nothing else to do. Yeah. So when you left, it was like, if we're going to talk about anything, it's just going to be like, hope you're okay. I still care about you. March on. Like there was no point. And like, I remember telling you like, I didn't want to be friends. I only wanted to be your boyfriend. And that's why like, I never reached out. Cause I'm like, if I'm reaching out, it's to be your boyfriend again. Yeah. And I wanted.
You did call me at 1 a.m. once whilst drunk, but I did not answer.
3 months after we broke up, I was very sad and I called you. And I don't remember what I even wanted to say. I was just like just drunk and like missed you. Like even 3 months later. And then I never called you again. But then I did reach out 4 years later. Yeah. Because at that point I was like, I know there's nothing here. I just want to catch up. Yeah. And you were dating your last boyfriend and it was just a very easy like conversation. And then you moved to LA. Anyway, we ended up after years of not talking, years of not hanging out, we ended up becoming friends. And now we have a podcast together. So it is very possible for exes to be friends. Yeah.
If the central question is, can you be friends with your ex? Absolutely.
Correct.
I think, I personally think that it's not something that can or should happen right after.
No,
I have a friend that's going through a breakup as well right now. Also a 5-year relationship. Also, this person was their best friend,
Mm-hmm.
and they're feeling very lonely now. And one of the things I keep trying to say, which, I'm very understanding with the process, because the loneliness, all of that,
Yeah.
especially when that's your person, your best friend and your partner, like
Mm-hmm.
that, it's really difficult to see him go through this. But the thing I wanted to say, but wasn't really my place to say, was you're not going to be friends. You can't be friends right now. You really can't be true friends right now, because your body and your mind are separate from your soul right now. Like, your soul wants to know that you guys can be fine and you'll be friends forever or whatever. Sure.
Yeah.
But your mind and body are so used to that same pattern of being with this person, being intimate with this person, telling this person everything, and that's not how you operate a friendship, like, there has to be some level of boundaries in a friendship. Some space needs to be taken before you can get to that place of being friends, being real friends.
You need to like disconnect for a bit.
Yeah.
And I think the reason why our friendship works is because there isn't this desire to go back to our relationship or like a thought of like, maybe this could still happen if I put in more effort, if I change this, or if I do this, like, especially like the space I'm in right now. I'm like, that's exactly where I'm at. Like,
we have separate lives, we have separate lives that we enjoyed by the time we reconnected,
Yeah.
And I think that's something that's so key to being anyone's friend in any case, but also being friends with your ex. You honestly have to have your own separate life that you are happy with before you go dive into something like that, I think.
Yeah. I can't imagine being friends with my last boyfriend like right now. It's just way too hard to even think about it being chill, and we have a longer friendship than we did a relationship. So I know that it's like possible, but then again, it's like, sometimes you just can't like unknow things about someone, especially when you've gotten into a relationship and you've learned a lot more than you would in a friendship.
Yeah.
That you're kind of like, well, now that I really know you, like, is this even a friend I want to keep around? Is this even something that is worth my time and energy? And of course, I'm still like super sensitive. It just happened, but I don't have to make any decisions right now in my life. All I know is that like, no contact, no friendship. We're leaving it alone. I know for me, anytime after a breakup happens, I'm so steadfast in that. I'm like, oh, you're not going to hear from me. Like, I promise you, like, I'm not going to reach out. Of course, like, there is with you, I did call you like 3 months drunk, but like, that was when I was 22. I'm like, I've learned a lot in these last like 9-10 years. I think, especially after a breakup, you kind of go into this like protective mode. At least it's so like strong for me to like, hey, you feel awful. We have to limit any sort of interaction. Like, I feel like, especially now, like, I'm putting myself in this bubble of like, you already feel so awful. We have to limit any chance that you're going to feel like even worse.
Absolutely. I completely agree.
Yeah. I honestly almost canceled today because I was like crying this morning.
Aww.
And I haven't cried in a few days. And I was like, I thought I was done with the whole crying thing. I think it was because I knew we were going to talk about this that I started thinking about like my relationship and all this stuff that I was just like emotional. But
well, the thing that I was telling my other friend who's going through a breakup right now was, your mind and your body are so used to these patterns that they will fall right back into it.
Yeah.
So if you see this person every day, or if you see their name pop up in your phone every day, your body is just going to go back to the feeling of, oh, everything's fine and I love them. Oh, wait, no, it's not. And then it's that cycle that fucks with you. You know?
And it's a cycle I don't want to be a part of.
Right.
At all.
It is kind of, I would say that it is kind of, I don't know if it's addicting is the right word, but there's part of it that like feels good to reminisce or to like want to check in with them or want to like figure out what's going on with them. There's part of that feels good, but I took nothing of value away from that when I did that, because I was doing those things. Like, I think the other thing about a breakup for me, it's like, I think I'm a very, honestly, I feel like I'm a very competitive person. So I was like, for probably a year after, I was like, I'm going to win the breakup.
Yeah.
Whatever that fucking means, which means nothing, which
Nobody
means
wins.
which means like my life is still somewhat controlled by this person, is really what I realized.
Yeah.
But at the time, it was a great motivator for me to like start making some changes in my life, to be able to like have this feeling where it's like, yeah, I did it. I did the thing where I'm like thriving without him, and honestly, I was happy without him, but I was still letting that, revenge plot or whatever you want to call it
dictate how you're moving through life.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's the craziest thing to realize, is that they're gone, but they're still a part of you in some way. And they're kind of, like I said, dictating like how you move about. Like, I'm doing this because like I want to win. I'm doing this because like I want to feel better than like they're probably feeling right now. And it's all these things where, especially with this breakup, I'm feeling that sort of mentality of like, oh, I should be like hooking up with people. I should be like doing this. I like need to seem like I'm okay. And there's been a lot of power in sitting in the fact that I'm not okay.
Yes.
And that I don't need to like do anything I don't want to do, or do anything in spite of him, or, win in some way. Like, oh, I'm not affected by it. Like, no, like I'm deeply affected by it. Like, I'm sad all the time. But I think something that's been nice about this breakup is the way I've been approaching it, and almost like prioritizing my sadness. And what I mean by that is, I'm so sad. Okay, cool. Like, in this moment, let's feel sad. Let's journal. Let's like schedule a therapy session. Let's like do something to make that the top priority in this moment. And then once I do that, I'm like, cool. Like, I gave it its moment. Now I'm going to work on this project. And I still feel sad, but I'm trying this new mental thing where I'm like, yes, you're sad, but like, that's not the priority right now. Like, your priority is to like finish this video you're editing.
Yeah.
This priority is to
gave
like,
it its time already.
Yeah. Like, I gave it time. Like, but it almost is like screaming at me all the time to be like, no. Like, this is the only thing you're feeling. I'm like, yes, I know. But right now I want to choose to do something else. Like, I need to like put you away for a bit. And that sort of mental shift has been so nice, even though it like doesn't really provide a lot of relief. It does provide a lot of stability with my day of like, I know I have to get stuff done. So like allowing myself to feel sad, allowing myself to cope in these ways and not feel bad about it. Cause I feel like a lot of shame sometimes when it comes to feeling sad, because it's like, well, you shouldn't feel sad. It was only like 4 months, or like, you'll be friends again. So why are you even like freaking out? And you're just kind of like, no. Like, feel sad. Like,
feel sad. Feel the feelings, because they will come up again.
Oh, fully. They
if you
came
don't
up this morning.
If
like,
you don't let them out, if you don't like, sit in it, it's just gonna keep popping up.
Oh,
that's really what happens.
I have been,
and then you start doing crazy shit. Like, I did some crazy shit when I was feeling sad. The first 2 times we broke up. Don't just, we are not our thoughts. We are the awareness of our thoughts. So be aware that your thoughts are going to be sad. Your thoughts are going to be glum, but that doesn't mean that that's all of who you are.
Yeah. And I think in our past relationship and other situationships that have ended, I have been more like, no, I'm only sad. Like, that's the only thing I'm able to do. And I think maybe it just comes with like having a lot of breakups happen, or and then getting older. You're just kind of like, I've been through this before. I kind of know what to do now. Like, I've set up so many things to like be okay, that especially when this breakup happened, it was just so clear of like, okay, well, like, keep going, like, do your thing. Like, this isn't brand new information, but it is still sad. So something I wanted to ask you is, after a breakup, do you have any like post breakup rituals that you do, or things that you automatically go to? You're like, okay, like, this is over. I got to do A, B, C, D.
For me, it's like getting back out there immediately. Just like, not that I want to be dating anyone.
What?
Not that I want to rebound, but I think that process immediately is like, the immediate replacement is like, oh, let me go hook up with someone.
That's wild.
Yeah. Like, I don't know if that's the healthiest way. I mean, but people say like the best way to get over someone is to get under someone else, which is kind of true.
I think
for me, in my case.
Yes, for some people, I don't think it will ever be true for me at all.
For me, like, it's enough of a band-aid to be like, okay, well, now I don't have to think about relying on this one person for this part of my satisfaction anymore.
I do agree. I think there is a power in being like, well, we just broke up. Let me get this first hookup out of the way, in a sense. Let me get this like reminder that like, oh, this act is not tied to just you. Like it's with everyone, but like I know it's more emotional for me. So I end up always leaving very unfulfilled because it's like, that's not the person I wanted to be doing it with. But like, at least it's not the last person I did it with anymore.
So I don't know. I feel like I don't have my process was definitely leaning really heavily on my friends. Like, I mean, there's times where I just would call them crying, you know, and just in a panic for no real reason, just other than like, just really overthinking everything. And just, you think, because something that comes up is your self-worth. Are you deserving of love? Are you deserving of another chance at love in the future? That's something that came up for me a lot, because I've told you before, and we actually talked about this in a unaired episode of this.
Yes.
Where basically, long story short, I was really young and was told by like a psychic, we'll say, that I will never meet my soulmate in this life, that I will just, you know, perpetually be with people that are not the perfect person for me, which I don't necessarily believe in that anymore. But at the time I believed it so heavily that it honestly changed the way I viewed relationships. So like when these things didn't work out, it was a little more, it almost hit harder, but it also was almost like painfully neutral, painfully indifferent. Like it was just like, okay, well, there's the proof, you know, it didn't work, and I'm never going to be with someone, you know, I'm never going to find that perfect person. And there's a piece of that that's empowering. There's a piece of that that's really devastating. And now I don't necessarily believe that. I think maybe I believe that, you know, there's multiple soulmates, there's multiple things. If we're talking about meeting people in past lives or whatever, obviously it's all up in the air. It's esoteric. I don't really know, but I think I choose to believe that there's many different paths out there. But at the time I really did believe that, you know, I'm never going to meet the perfect person. Now I don't adhere to that as much, but
I think something I've learned as I gotten older is that it would be so nice to find someone who you spend the rest of your life with. But when I am constantly dating and I see like my parents and how they met someone like after their second or after their first marriage, I'm like, there are so many people out there that you will get along with, that you will commit to, or that you will find interesting, and all this stuff. I don't think I believe in the idea of like there's one person for the rest of your life. I think you can make that work if you're willing to commit to that idea. I think with any relationship, if you have a solid base, I think you can make most things work for a long time. And then there are just some things that are incompatible. Yeah. But I was talking to my friend about this, how I feel like I can fall in love with anyone if you like treat me the way I want to be treated, sweet to other people, like a good person overall. I'm like, yeah, like why wouldn't I fall in love with someone like that? And then the long-term commitment comes from choosing that person every day, even when they upset you, even when you disagree. It's like, well, I'm choosing to be with the person I know you are at your core, and everything else can kind of like, I don't want to say fall to the side, but like you learn to like live with that, because nobody's going to be perfect. Yeah. And I think with my last relationship, I was starting to adopt that mentality of like, I think we're really good, and there are things that I don't like, but I want to like choose you every day. Like I want, like I was choosing to be this type of person. And of course, like maybe there were things I should have paid more attention to, but at the same time too, like I left the relationship feeling like there was more to be done, or more conversations to be had. Yeah.
Is there something you would have done differently?
No. This was the first time I got to practice advocating for myself in a relationship, and really saying what I wanted and what I was expecting, and just really sharing all of me and trying to be vulnerable. And I think that kind of expedited the decision to break up in a way, because it just turns out like me showing up in an authentic way showed him like, oh, I don't know if we're actually compatible long term, because I'm really getting a sense of who you are. As much as that sucks, I'm like, well, I'm glad I showed up as me, because I want, honestly,
it's less of a reflection on you. Like, it's not like you're not good enough. It's like, no, this is just not us working out.
Yeah.
You know?
I haven't, usually after breakups, I am absolutely devastated, but I'm devastated more about like my self-worth of like, wow, it's true. Like I am unlovable. It's true. Like I didn't do enough. I'm not enough. Like all of these things. And last summer I went through like 2 breakups. I mean, like situationship, like breakups. Well, we weren't in a relationship, whatever. After both of those, I was like, I don't love myself. I really don't love who I am alone. I don't love who I am, like how I'm approaching my life, that I took a year off to like really love who I was. That now after this breakup, I'm like, oh, I'm not even thinking about my self-worth. I know I'm like deserving of all things. I know that I love how I show up for me and how I show up for a partner. It was not a question of like we didn't break up because I was a bad partner. It was just an incompatibility that he couldn't get over, or that it was very true for him. And I'm not going to argue with someone who believes like that's true for them.
Right.
Like that's, yeah, okay, cool. Like, especially like in a breakup, all you really have to tell me is you don't want to be with me. I don't need a long explanation.
Yeah.
Like anytime I start to spiral in these last few weeks, it's just because, I'm overthinking and it's too much to handle. But then I always come to, well, the answer is he doesn't want to be with you. Like you don't have to wonder.
Yeah.
Like, but could I have changed this? Could I have done this? Like, what if it's like, no, like that all could have happened and he still could have decided like, well, I don't want to be with you. I don't think we're compatible. Like, and I think that's been a really good part of this whole breakup, is that I have all the answers because it's just one sentence of he doesn't want to be with you.
Yeah.
That's it. But it's not a reflection
It's a harsh truth. It's true.
Harsh truth, but it's not a reflection of my self-worth. And I think when you take that out of a breakups become a little easier.
Something I also want to touch on is like, I think there's a process for everybody after a breakup, but something I think that people that's like discussed a lot, like, is the rebound phase, which I think people think they are going to avoid or think they're not going to go through. I disagree. I really think that every breakup is going to have a rebound phase, whether it's small or large, or whether it turns into a whole new relationship, whether it turns into just feelings that are, transferred from one person to another. Like, I think that phase is there. And I almost think, people should really try and respect it, because it's like, it's going to happen. One thing I thought, because I thought was, when I went through the breakup, I was like, it's my 3rd time breaking up. What else? Like, I'm fine. Like, I know now that I'm good. I'm not, there's no part of me that's going to jump right back into something. But then that happened. Like, literally I started seeing someone.
That guy that you were really into.
Yes. And, I started seeing someone that I was really into, felt really, really strongly about, was very cautious with. And he was also very cautious because he went through a breakup like a year prior. So there was like a level of like, okay, well, where I'm at, and we're feeling these feelings for each other, but like, is this the right time? The issue then was like, okay, then we slowed down and realized, maybe this is a bad idea. And I was feeling more invested. And then he was like, I'm sorry. I think I encouraged you too much, and it was really rough because I kind of opened myself up to it. But I think I say all that to say rebounding will fucking happen. Even if you are just going on dates, even if you are just hooking up, that even if that is all you do, that's kind of a little bit of a rebound. And sometimes, people are more aware of it than others, but those patterns that you had with your previous partner will start to peak out with those same rebounds. Yeah. Luckily, I think my situation, I don't think I really jumped into those like anxieties I had, because there's a lot of respect there. There was a lot of like, we both have been through a lot, so we might as well be honest with each other. But yeah, I just wanted to tell people, like, I think that's part of the breakup process, is your feelings that you're feeling are still there. They're in that same cycle still. And it's very easy for them to just be placed in somewhere else because you want to fill that gap. Yeah.
And something I'm very aware of, and just kind of learned this past weekend, is that the comfort that I'm seeking, the hole like in my heart, cannot be filled by anyone but my last boyfriend right now. I know for myself I need a lot of time to like move through these feelings, and like, yeah, I could meet someone and do all these things, but like the emotion for him is still there. But it's clear to me like what I need, and it's never been clearer after this breakup of like, oh, I know how I feel, I know what I need to do, and I'm not going to feel shame for taking it slow or doing my own thing or not falling into a rebound, or, and who's to say I don't know. I'm just aware that like I'm in a sensitive spot, and until these feelings kind of subside, I need to be more cautious with how I interact with the world, which is why like I don't know if I want to go out on Halloween to even potentially see like mutual friends or you know, see him. Like it's just too sensitive.
Yeah, fair enough.
I know that I'm only going to feel better once I've given it more time and more acceptance. And
well, it's just how it goes, you know. You go through ups and downs with it, and I feel like the gap never, this sounds bleak, but the gap never really goes away. Like, because that person was a part of you, and you know, you're not going to ever actually replace them. Yeah, that's the other thing. Like rebounding is almost like your mind and body trying to trick you into replacing them, but you can't.
It's like, no, we want this thing. Like we've been missing it, and I'm like, yeah. I hear you. I know. I want that too. That's not going to do anything for us in this moment. Right. Like it really isn't. Like, yes, maybe in the moment, like, cause who's to say I don't go out like on Halloween, meet someone cute, we go home together, all that stuff. Like cool. Like in the moment it's fun, but I know me enough to know like, but that didn't fill the hole. Yeah. And the thing is, I'm doing so many things right now to just like fill up my cup. Like hosting like a dinner party on Thursday, like hanging out with friends, like most nights, like really trying to fill my time. And something that is so crazy is that like I feel comfort, but that hole is still there. Like there's no one else that can fill it right now than him. Yeah. And I'm like, I kind of have to accept that and just know that that's going to fade.
You point out something interesting too. Like the gap is never, you're not going to actually replace anybody, right? Like the gap or the hole that's there is not going to just be filled up by, you know, friends or family or rebounds or hookups or whatever. It's really like when I say your mind and body are kind of seeking to replace that, it's like you might be in a mental place where you're like, I'm not going to rebound with anyone. I know this hookup is just this hookup. I know this person is just sex or just whatever, or this friend is just entertaining me. But your mind and body is still going to be actively seeking out that same pattern that you've had already. So it's like, it really is trying to, you know, it's like, it's trying its best to like protect you, your mind and body, but it's not really going to be beneficial, because no matter whatever emotional connection you had with your ex, it's going to reenact itself in some way with a new person. If you go into too vulnerable, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I guess I'm it's a long-winded way of saying, you know, just guard yourself. You know, right now you're just in a really vulnerable spot.
I feel very guarded, but in a way that's like, guarded feels like an intense word. I feel very protective of myself right now, and I'm cautious, and I'm very aware of like, if I'm choosing to like do this thing, it's because I know what I'm getting from it, and it's not going to mean more than just this. And what means more to me is like, well, I just want to hang out with my closest friends. Like that's going to fill up my cup. It's going to be the closest thing I can get to filling that like romantic hole. But everything else just feels so like pointless right now, unless it is really gratifying to me. And something I've been practicing, especially in these last few weeks, is just practicing a lot of gratitude, like for my relationship. I always feel very grateful for every experience I have. Some experiences less than others, but I always take something out of a relationship when it ends. And something that has helped me the last couple of weeks is just reminding myself like how grateful I am for him, for the experience, for everything I learned, for everything we did together, how well I was treated and how well I treated him, and just being like, this was a very happy experience overall.
Mm-hmm.
It did not end in a happy way, but that doesn't mean it was like not of value.
Mm-hmm.
It just sucks that my last memory of him is not the best.
Yeah.
But if I remind myself of the better times, I'm like, oh, well, you did enjoy yourself. You did open yourself up. There's nothing to like regret about this. And when I started a gratitude jar, it's actually right behind you, where every day I write down 3 things I'm grateful for, and then I put it in the jar as also like a physical reminder, like as it starts to fill up, that like almost feels like, oh, that's the hole that needs to be filled. And if I fill it with reminders of things to be grateful for, like one day I will be okay, and I know I'm going to be okay. Like we're all okay eventually after a breakup, but I'm in this zone of like, I need more reminders. I need things to show me that like, it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
And it feels silly, but it is just, I think, what I need right now, and feels good for my mental health.
Yeah. There is light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah. And I've seen that. I've seen the light more often than not in this breakup. Whereas usually I'm like, there's no light. I'm worthless. This is horrible. It's kind of like, I think I handled this relationship in a very balanced way, because I typically like to lose myself in relationships. And he felt the same way, that I think we both made an active effort to like maintain our independence, and the fact that we're not together, my life hasn't changed that much because I was still prioritizing myself and him. I think what makes me sad is like, I really enjoyed prioritizing him too.
Yeah.
And now I have to like just go back to me,
Yeah.
which is like fine. But it, you know, I think for a moment was nice to feel like I was doing life with someone.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like something I want to ask, but I'm not sure how to phrase it fully, is like, what are you hopeful for in your next year? Let's say that. And whether it's a relationship, whether it's finding something out about yourself, whatever. What are you hopeful for?
Oh, I don't know. It's kind of tricky to answer, because I feel like in my last relationship, I was doing a lot of what I had hoped to find in my next relationship, that I was doing all of that now. So it kind of feels like, well, I want to do this again, but I think I want to do it again and kind of hold firm with who I am as a person. And when maybe more things come up in the other person that I don't like, recognize that and kind of sit myself of like, is this the type of person I want to be with, rather than getting attached to like, well, they like you, so it doesn't matter. Being more honest with myself when it comes to another person. I think in my last relationship, I maybe was like pushing things aside, and maybe just too like caught up in the falling in love part. And I'm not going to apologize for falling for someone, or
of course not,
the process of falling for someone. But I think like there were a couple things I was like, you knew that that's not going to work out for you long term, yet you still kind of like push through. But at the same time too, I was the mentality of like, well, if I tell this person like what I expect, they'll change. And he had a couple times, so I was like, okay, cool. And I'm not trying to change someone, I'm just trying to teach someone how I want to be treated.
Yeah.
And I think there is a confidence that I'm building up right now of like, this is how I want to be treated, this is what I expect from someone. And if you can't do that, then I have to be okay with walking away and not just putting up with it. Because I think I stay in things for a little too long than I should. And I do feel grateful that someone else caught those earlier and was like, hey, let's just cut it here.
Yeah. It is a blessing in disguise, you know?
It always is. I always think about the guys I've dated before, like all the time, but I never really see it as like they're the one that got away, or this was supposed to work out and now I'm just like caught up in that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm always like hopeful in that fantasy world that like they'll come running back and feel like they made a mistake. It's not real. It's just the fantasy. Like, of course you want someone to like feel like they made a mistake, but if you actually sit with yourself, it's like that you don't actually want them.
Yeah. There's like, you almost kind of are seeking like some sort of validation from your ex.
Yeah. That
know?
like, no, like this was right. Like this was what we were supposed to be doing. And I think the hardest part about being broken up with is that you have to adopt their mentality of we're not supposed to be together, because that's not a mentality I was in. And now because you told me that, I just have to like accept that. I have to find a way to tell myself that like, yeah, like you didn't like this, you like this. See, like you can adopt it, but it's like, yeah, but you still like really like this person. You still want to.
That reminds me of another message I have for people who are in relationships or like going through a rough time in their relationship. I think like this may sound bleak, but like I think evaluating if you're going through a rough time in your relationship, evaluating if there is resentment, true resentment between you and your partner, because it develops very easily. You know, the idea of like your partner, you know, bids for your love in some way, like whether that's, you know, you're sitting together watching a movie and they set their hand next to you, and whether or not you grab their hand, that means something. That means something to that person. You know, if you choose to just sit there and like, you know, let them put their hand out and you don't reach back, that means something to them. And it's those little things that can build resentment. And it happened to me. It's like little things that my partner might not even think are a big deal, you know, but because it's happened so many times, it started to build this small seed of resentment inside me. And same for my ex towards me. There was things that I did that I didn't realize were like building this resentment against me from him. So all I will say is like, if that's there and it's coming up again and again, to me, it's not going to go away. I don't think it's going to just disappear without serious work. And it's like, are you really willing to do the serious work that it takes? And I don't know if that kind of feeling is something you can really come back from. Obviously everybody can make their own decisions, and, you know, no one knows your situation like you, but like, I would urge people to really evaluate that. And if you feel like there's part of you that resents your partner or part of them that resents you, really think if that's something that you can come back from, because I kept trying. I really did. We both kept really trying to move past it in some way. And there was always going to be this seed of like distrust, you know, there was always going to be that there because we could never really get rid of it. Like you said, like you've seen this other side of this person that you really can't unsee anymore. And it's hard to go back from. Yeah. And I think maybe in our case, like we had a lot of time to let those things kind of fade. And we started remembering the good things, you know, and remembering the more positive things. Yeah. Which made it a little easier, I would imagine. But we never really had full resentment towards each other, I don't think. But my last relationship and we definitely had built these small seeds of resentment, and they grew. Yeah. You know, and we had to go through couples therapy. We tried a million different things. We tried being open. We tried, you know, talking about a million things, you know, like it really just at that point, when that trust is broken and when that resentment is there, it's really just not going to come back. And I don't mean to be, you know, like cynical about it, but I just think you're not doing anyone any favors by trying to pretend that, you know, things are better than they are, or like that, you know, you're not more noble for like enduring something that's causing you pain, you know? Yeah. That's another thing I think is like, I was almost concerned about like, you know, what other people thought of me if I was to break up with someone. You know, for some reason I thought like if I was to make a relationship last, that I'm more, I don't know, like that I'm more noble or more like, I don't know, wise of a person. But it's like, I don't think that's true anymore. I really think that if I listened to how I felt early on, I would have saved myself a lot of grief and a lot of pain, you know?
We are hitting an hour.
We're at our
I
time.
also have a place to be soon. So this was the final episode of season 1.
Season 1. And, you know, it's up to you guys now. Like, let us know what you're feeling about this. Let us know if you want more. I feel like we have more in us for sure, but it's like, you know, it's probably time for a break. It's the holidays.
Yeah. Send us a DM of what you want to hear, what you liked, what you didn't.
DMs, comments, all of it.
We're going to hopefully amp up season 2. Yeah. We'll do something. We're both, I mean, hopefully going to be single. So we maybe have stories to tell and things will get more exciting. Yeah. And whatnot. But this was fun.
Yeah, this
8
was
episodes.
really fun.
Technically 10, but 8 aired episodes.
Yes. Wait, 11? No, didn't we do
guess
3?
We did 3.
Yeah. So there's unaired content that you guys haven't seen.
Maybe next season we'll release one of them.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Who's to say?
Some
Anyway,
teasers.
on that note, thank you for listening to Ex-Boyfriend Material,
Yeah.
Season 1.
Season 1. Happy holidays. Happy Halloween.
Happy Honda Days. And
Honda
we'll
Days.
see you next year.
Yeah, see you next year.
Bye.